Hello everybody, it's JTLive and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings, and there is so much to talk about, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into the meat of the action, and the first story is a mouth-watering one. It is around Mr. Khannouss, who Leeds United have submitted an official bid for. This is coming by way of journalist Sebastian Vidal. Let's just pull up his tweet real quick. This came as of 12 o'clock today. The club are pushing to sign Lecce striker Krstovic, who has been given the green light to leave by the owner of the club. Ironically, the 100-goal forward is high on Fark's list to boost the attack. Meanwhile, a serious bid has been submitted for Leicester winger Bilal El Khannouss. The 21-year-old Moroccan could soon arrive at Elland Road. Now, what does he mean by this bid? It is very, very interesting because El Khannouss has a £22.5 million release clause, which was, of course, activated when Leicester got relegated into the Championship. Now, if Leeds United have submitted a serious bid, you'd have to presume it's somewhere near that mark, but not the actual release clause, because if we'd activated the release clause, there would be no question about this. It would be purely down to personal terms with the players. However, the fact that he's saying it's a serious bid and the fact that there is no actual confirmed maneuver of El Khannouss talking to Leeds United and triggering that deal, booking a medical, all the above, that leads me to believe that the fee is probably somewhere around the £20 million ball mark, maybe 15, 18, £20 million with some add-ons. I don't believe Leeds have triggered the release clause just yet, but Leeds United have submitted an official bid according to Sebastian Vidal, and that is very positive signs if you are a fan of El Khannouss. As he said, he can play in the number 10 role. His stats weren't, game-breaking last year in the Premier League, but due to his age, there is a lot of scope for development. He is a good ball carrier. He does have good composure on the ball. He's got a lot of good assets to his game, which could give him scope for development. Now, as I said, my belief is that this isn't the release clause. Let me know what you guys think. Do you still think that we could have triggered the release clause? I do feel like this move is picking up a lot of steam and one that could be done very, 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 very quickly. Will that quick move be to Leeds United? That is yet to be seen, because there has been a fresh spanner in the works, and Son Heung-min the other day did confirm his departure from Tottenham Hotspur, signing for LAFC, which was reported about a day or two ago. And as a result of that, Team Talk are now reporting that Spurs have entered the race to sign El Khannouss. With the Champions League now on offer for them after winning the Europa League, it would be a very appetizing move for El Khannouss to move over there. Now, would he fit into Spurs' system? That's something that's yet to be seen. Obviously, they've signed Kudus, who can play both in the middle and on the wide areas as well. They're reporting that he's a winger. He's not someone I would sign to play on the wing for me. I'd sign him to play more in that midfield role, in that number 10 role, than someone playing out wide, El Khannouss, for me. So I don't see him as a direct out-and-out Son replacement. He doesn't play in a similar way to Son, but it is someone that Spurs are interested in. And if Spurs are interested in them, it's going to make it a little bit harder for Leeds to get this deal done, especially if we haven't triggered that release clause just yet. It's all waiting to be seen. £22.5 million release clause isn't that high. If we want to get the job done, we're going to have to move quickly, because it isn't just Spurs. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other teams in the mix, Brentford, etc., all these other clubs that have lost top players, that getting near the end of the transfer window might just look at El Khannouss and be like, this is worth the gamble. So if Leeds are to move in, we got to move quickly, in my opinion. So there's a lot to go on with this. I feel like there's going to be a lot of updates in the coming days, but let me know what you guys think down below. Now, going from prospected signings to prospects within the club, Joel Pirot has come out and he's had a few things to say about Harry Gray. I think he still needs to improve a lot, but he's showing that he's doing really well, and I'm very happy for him. And he gets a chance to taste what it feels like to be on the pitch and be in and around the team. I just hope for him he gets even more hungry from it as well, and that he wants to try more and keep on developing. He is, of course, only 16 years of age still, and just trying to break into the first team, similar to the way that Archie Gray managed to do a couple of years ago. He actually had a little bit more game time than Harry Gray did at this current age in his life, but obviously breaking into the midfield and breaking into the number 9 position are two different kettles of fishes. It's a lot harder to get into that number 9 position because there is only one position there. There's not 3 positions where you can be maneuvered around in up there. So it's very interesting to see how he's going to develop. And Joel Perreault obviously has had a firecracker of a preseason so far. So it's good to see that he's got faith in Harry Gray. Sorry, so confusing. Got good faith in Harry Gray, and we'll have to wait and see how he develops. But speaking of that number 9 position, there have been some developments in the Nikola Krstovic maneuvers again, and they are very, very conflicting ones. It was reported the other day that Roma were apparently very, very keen to sign him. However, it is now being reported that Roma are out of the race to sign Nikola Krstovic, and the latest reports are stating that Nikola Krstovic is going to be on his way out of Lecce this summer. No matter what, he's gone. They want to sign other targets. They want other people in and around the squad. Krstovic is not the man that they see in the long-term vision for them. They need the money, and Leeds United are still seeming like the most sensible candidates for that. Premier League options are very, very proven for them. Or very, very, it's where they're looking to send him is the Premier League, and Leeds United are currently the front runners within that race in the Premier League. As I said, with the Khannouss thing, if you leave these deals too late, it does open the door for a lot of other clubs coming late in the transfer window who might have missed out on other options to come and get him. So we do need to move relatively quickly. The issue, as it's saying, is going on again, is completely down to personal terms. However, it does seem like Leeds are making a little bit of edgeways on this, but we will have to wait and see. The owner has come out and said, listen, we are not going to stay in his way at all. Leeds United, if you want him, go and get him. Put the money down. We'll help you as much as you can. Just try and agree those personal terms. They want him gone. Is that a good sign for Leeds? Is that a bad sign for Leeds? We're going to have to wait and see. The Lecce president quote, which I did aforemention, was being reported by Tuto Meccano. A bid of 30 million euros or 26 million pounds would be enough to convince Lecce to sell. As Damani said, he knows he's been a key figure in our shirt, and the club's results have also been linked to his performances. He's going to big him up, of course, because he wants him to get sold for the most value possible. Now, in other news, Leeds United are still looking at Gabriel Sara. I don't know why we're still looking at Gabriel Sara. I thought our midfield was already done. There's 4 reported signings that Fark wanted. One was a winger, one was a number 10, one was a striker, and one was fullback cover, which is why Schmidt has not yet left the club. I don't know why we're looking at a deep-lying midfielder in Gabriel Sara, but according to Give Me Sport, Leeds United are still monitoring him. He's valued at £35 million. He would add a lot to the squad. He's a great player, but it's just not in the position that we need. So I don't think we need to spend too much time on that unless if there are serious developments in the next few days. In other news, Leeds United were looking at Nick Pope before we signed Perry, but Nick Pope is set to stay as Newcastle's number 1 goalkeeper after bringing in Aaron Ramsdale as backup. They have confirmed that Nick Pope is going to be their number 1. And the reason this is interesting is because we're going to have to wait and see who Leeds United's number 1 is next year, with Meslier still expected to leave the club, although there hasn't been any major developments on that just yet. It is being reported that Perry, who is currently sidelined with a little injury issue, is potentially going to miss Leeds United's opening game against Everton. So we could find ourselves in a situation where our starting goalkeeper against Everton is Carl Darlow. Let me know what you guys think about that one down below. Is that a scary proposition? Is that a good proposition? Because he's looked decent in preseason, to be fair to him. But it is a proposition nonetheless. Speaking of the aforementioned Schmidt, he did post a little Instagram post, which could be deemed as cryptic. He's put focus on, he's just basically captioned it focus, and he's put a bunch of pictures of him playing against Villarreal. Of course, he did start because of Bogle's injury, didn't have a very impressive game. Is that him getting a slight dig back at Daniel Fark, who was seen remonstrating with him on the sideline? Is this a much to do about nothing? Well, we'll have to wait and see how the cookie crumbles, but things are definitely not going well behind the scenes. You've got to feel for Schmidt on a personal level because, of course, he just wants to play football, get himself in the Swiss team because of the international tournaments coming out this summer. So you can see why he wants to move away if he's not going to get game time. but it is definitely a situation ongoing and not the happiest one at Leeds United right here, right now. And speaking of a situation which is turning for the worse, Leeds United's main striker target, aside from Krstovic right now, as it seems, is, of course, Dovbyk. And Dovbyk did seem to be a move that Leeds United could feasibly get done, especially with the fact Roma were looking at Krstovic. Now that Roma have pulled out of the race for Krstovic, it will make it that slight bit harder to get the Dovbyk deal done, of course. But it is still one that Leeds United are prospected to do. Now, it is expected to cost around £35 million, slightly more expensive than Nikola Krstovic, of course, but he is slightly more proven, he's got more experience, and he's got a better track record, and he's someone who you can expect to fit into the team a little bit more seamlessly than someone like Dovbyk, someone like Krstovic, of course. However, there's been a late twist as Villarreal now are looking to throw a spanner in the works and are seriously looking at Dovbyk as a signing that they could get done. They've, of course, got European football next year. Very, very professional outlet. As we saw against Leeds, there were moments in the game where they were showing pure quality, controlling the ball in the midfield there. And it's definitely a move that would excite him. He's said to be a big fan of Spain and the Spanish weather, of course. Playing in the Spanish league is something that he would very much be open to moving for next year. So we're going to have to wait and see how this one unfolds. But it is a little spanner in the works. So if you are excited about Dovbyk, just temper your expectations ever so slightly right now as we wait to see what happens in the coming days. Now, Leeds United. All for today. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. For now, though, I will see you very, very soon. Au revoir.